This episode is brought to you by the shows of the You Run Podcast Network, all available at yourunpodcast.com. Whether it's true crime or film reviews, even TV series deep dives, the You Run Podcast Network has you covered. So go and check out yourunpodcast.com today. To give everyone some context why me and Mark are already laughing, we've recorded 15 minutes of an episode with guests and it didn't hit record. So we're going to try this.
We're going to try this again. Yeah, let's do this. Take two.
There's going to be no joke this week because Mark's already heard it and he's not going to laugh. So I'm just going to do this instead.
Oh, you got to give him that hook too and spit on that thing.
Hey everyone,
The You Run Podcast.
the You Run Podcast.
You want to die tonight?
Scott, I think you know who the fuck this is that's talking.
Cancel Mark. I was terribly offended.
Because after all, this is not our show, this is your show.
To be fair, we'll let you off. In 2.5 years of recording this podcast, that is the first time you have ever done that.
I've never done it before. I'm genuinely embarrassed. It wouldn't be too bad if it was just you and me here. It'd be like, oh shit, what a dick. But we've got guests here, and what a dickhead. Anyway, hello and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott.
My name is Mark.
And we are the original, and believe it or not, we are the best interactive podcast around. When we remember to hit record. You can get involved in the show with things like TikTok talks, 3-word reviews. If you're new here, you'll pick it up as you go along. It's not very complicated. Easiest way to get involved is to follow us on social media. We're at You Run Podcast absolutely everywhere. When you visit Instagram to follow us, because I know you're going to, make sure you follow Mark. He is VHS from the Crypt and Reviews from the Crypt. One shows his extensive and expensive VHS collection, which I'm rather jealous of, and the other showcases his brilliant review abilities, which he showcases here every week for you.
I try.
I've done a good job at bigging you up then.
Yeah, you did. I was very flattered. I kind of didn't know what to say at the moment, but thank you.
Yeah. You can also send us an email, yourunpodcast@gmail.com, or you can send us an audio DM on Instagram or X. We have a couple stacked up, but some of them were sent by one of our guests this week, and I'm not playing them while she's here because that will just consume the episode. That will be the entire of the episode because, yeah, Heather called you and me out on a couple of bits, and I feel it's only fair we get to answer those without having to answer directly to Heather.
I'm feeling a really weird glitch in the Matrix right now. Have we done this already?
It does feel very reminiscent of something I said like a couple of minutes ago. But hey, that brings us to our guests. Introducing our first guest, hailing from the deep south of Texas, weighing in with hot takes and disdain for today's horror movie. With a record 5 appearances and thousands of cuss words, the incredible Heather Silver.
That doesn't make it any better.
I don't know how you got through that a second time with a straight face.
This is me. Thank you.
Hi, Heather.
Hello.
joining
I don't
us.
remember leaving voicemails that were mean. Were they mean? I just don't
No.
remember.
They
My
often
mom
are.
mean.
No, they weren't mean. They were
Excuse
just
me.
just disagreeing with our opinions, and instead of having a
Oh,
full scale argument, we'll just disagree with
Yeah.
your opinions next week. And
I
then you
disagree
can
with it
call
like
in.
pretty much everybody. It's totally fine.
Often when we get a phone call in and Scott says it's from Heather, I know I'm getting told off for something.
It's usually the pronunciation of stuff, but it's just me picking on y'all because, I mean, obviously, you know,
I struggle with English at the best of times, to be fair, so I can take it.
I struggle with English, and so it's a whole different culture thing. I get it. It's fine. But sometimes I'm like, that's not right. Even in UK,
And you just can't let it go.
I can't.
We need to do an episode that has something that involves a lot of aluminium because that would probably tip Heather over the edge.
See, I
And
can't
basil.
like
Basil and aluminium.
Oregano.
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 Oregano. Oh god.
We have another guest with us today. Our second guest, hailing from the Sunshine, I can't speak, hailing from the Sunshine State with a record of 4 appearances, and 2 of those appearances being in our top 10 episodes of all time. Weighing in with cosplay and craziness, she is the queen, the undisputed queen of TikTok. It is the one and only Lady Crisis. Hello, Mary.
Hi, that brings me back to my raver days.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. You are the queen of TikTok, and you're recently back on TikTok as well. You've been gone for a while.
Yeah, now that I have summer break, it's, get a little bored with all these kids driving me crazy.
Yeah, and your new series is awesome as well, all about kids. Well, you tell people. I've no point me telling people.
Yeah, kids in horror. So I just started a little series, just questions about like your childhood, or if you have kids, childhood memories of watching horror movies or watching with your kids. And there's been some really great responses, actually. So I'll probably keep it going for a little bit.
Yeah, please do, because I'm enjoying it. You get some weird responses as well. People like, my children don't watch any horror movie. They don't watch anything apart from Bambi on a loop. And they're like, really?
Yeah. I haven't gotten a negative comment yet, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting for someone to be like, you watch that shit with your kids. Not yet.
It'll happen.
You are quite brave, though, are you, Mary, in terms of letting your son watch horror movies? Like, I want to let my daughter watch horror movies, but I'm scared, not for her, just for the aftermath if she does have a bad trip. And it's like night terrors and stuff from it. Like, I can't wait for the day that I feel comfortable enough to know that I'm going to get a full night's sleep from letting her watch something that I enjoy. We just haven't hit that point yet in our relationship.
Yeah, I think when he was younger, he didn't really process what was going on, but he's 7 now. So there are, like, he watched Friday the 13th the other day, and he loves Jason, but he actually watched the movie and was like, turn it off, it's too scary. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
What, the original?
I think we watched New Blood. That was
okay, girl, because I would say the original, he probably took a nap. Because
that was boring again.
Jason's not even in that one. So
if you're worried, Mark, start your daughter with something that's really not scary, like Halloween 4.
Like do Gremlins, Gremlins or something horror light. Troll 2 is a good horror light one. It's stupid. Mary knows it's dumb as crap, but it doesn't have. It's just not as like creepy because it's so stupid. And she might, I don't know. It depends on her scare factor. All kids are different.
Yeah, her scare factor is bad. We was watching like Aladdin the other week, and when like the lion comes out of the sand, she had like a full-on meltdown. I was like, you are not ready for Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't let her watch anything right now. Maybe how she's 3 or 4.
She's almost 4, so 3.5. Yeah,
almost 4. Okay, so at that age, it's hit or miss. I mean, I watched horror movies when I was like 5.
I'll just stick with Bluey for the time being.
Today we're here for a special reason, because me and Mary are going to go to war against Heather and Mark as we discuss a movie that 2 of us like and 2 of us hate. All of this was caused by Heather's undying love for a book franchise that got leaked onto the show, and then it's become an annual event now, the Twilight annual event. Today we are looking at a movie from 2009 which sees a young girl pick between an angry pubescent teen and a moody grumpy old man. It is time for the second installment of the paedophile adventures of the vampires. It is Twilight New Moon.
This thing my world has to royalty. They enforce the law.
Vampires have laws. You're a human who knows entirely too much about us. They could kill us all.
You just don't belong in my world, Bella.
I belong with you.
This is the last time you'll ever see me. Please just promise me you won't do anything reckless.
It's like a huge hole has been punched through my chest.
I know what he did to you, but Bella, I would never, ever do that.
There's only one way I know to see him.
So
You're an adrenaline junkie now?
What the hell were you thinking?
Bella, it's Edward. He thinks you're dead.
What?
He's going to the Volturi. He wants to die too.
He left you, Bella. He didn't want you anymore.
I have to go.
He's gonna make a scene. The Volturi will kill him if he reveals himself in the sunlight.
No, Edward, don't!
I'm scared. This may hurt just a little.
No, please, please!
See, so you remember how we was messaging the group chat and I said to you, this whole entire movie could be done with one opening exposition scene? That's it, the trailer. That is it. Let's just play the trailer. Bang, Twilight 3, let's go.
All right, and that's the movie, guys. Thanks for coming to the podcast. It's that's how they get you in movie trailers, as you guys know. If you watch any film, especially one that comes out into theaters, it's always like that. You're seeing all the juicy good parts and you're really excited. And with Twilight, they're really bad about doing that. But yeah, I tried to rewatching this yesterday.
It is a bad movie.
It
And
was
one
hard
thing
to
I'm
get
most
through.
curious about. One thing I'm most curious about is how Scott is actually going to give us a walkthrough for this movie that's going to last an hour.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Because I can
understand how
sum this
you
up in about
describe
30 seconds.
I had to explain it to Steven last night, and he was like, "What? I don't understand Twilight." I said, "Bitch, hold on. Let me."
Nobody does.
Well, what I've
But
done,
anyway, yeah.
because I know everyone on this show likes to talk a lot, and all our listeners voted for us to play a brand new game. So there is a new game. So this new game is in play from right now. So this is called I'm Triggered. There are 10,
Am I playing it?
Yeah, all three of you are playing. There are 10
all
trigger
playing it.
words. If anyone says a trigger word throughout this episode, you're going to hear this.
I want to suck your dick.
And
why?
And then you're going to answer a question. If you get that
Okay.
question right, you get 10 points. At the end of the episode, whoever has the most points wins. But if you
But a
can do the
trigger
entire
word.
yeah,
you
if
choose
you
the
could
trigger words?
no, I've got them. It's things you're going to say by mistake, and then that's going to play. If you get through the whole episode without triggering any of the trap words I've got, you will get 100 points and pretty much win the game. So the key is to be careful what you say and not fall into any of the traps.
Oh, so it's like golf. It's like
Yeah.
golf then, basically. The less shots you get at the quiz, the better.
Yeah.
Right.
This game sound made up. I don't even know. I don't. How am I supposed to know? That's not.
I'm
I don't
kind of
even
used to this
understand
by
the
now.
rules.
But this
Oh, I
this
know you
game
are, but-
this game starts right now. So I've got my
Okay.
list of words. If any of you say it, we're in trouble. I've picked a lot of these words based on the fact I record with Mark regularly. I record with Heather regularly. I watch Mary on TikTok almost every day. I know words you say a lot.
I feel like I have to be really false on this episode now in order to win the quiz and say stuff
I
that
know,
I
and
wouldn't
I'm going to
usually
think
say.
about things that I say, and I'm going to be like,
I'm like thinking in my mind, do I have catchphrases that I say every week? If so, do I avoid them? Oh, yeah.
for sure.
I nearly
you
said
do.
it.
You did.
Because I know one of them was on there.
The listeners score the movies here. The listeners have scored this a 1 out of 5.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's high.
I think that's low.
I think that's brutal.
Yeah, it is low, but like it's not a good movie. So
It's
for
not
me,
Twilight
I would
low.
give it, yeah.
Letterboxd coming at 2.6 out of 5, and our AI companion Gladys coming at a 3 out of 5, stating it was a better werewolf story than a vampire story.
No, well, the werewolves look like I cannot with the effects, but anyway,
bad, isn't it?
So bad.
If you've never listened
bad.
before, if you've never listened before, this is a spoiler-heavy show. We have our spoiler warning with us. Heather, could you just give a spoiler warning, please?
I don't know if I can do it off the cuff like that. Oh God, you put me on the spot, you son of a bitch. Let me think. Okay, so I can't think of one now because you got me like you. How dare you?
You can do it.
I cannot believe I have to rehearse my performances, and you put me on the spot. Now you're making me look.
I'll
like
start
a
you off.
stupid
If you haven't seen the
idiot.
episode yet and you read the episode title, don't listen to the damn episode.
Do not listen. Obviously, this is my thing, though. Seriously, PSA on that. Like, people need to learn to fucking read, because if you haven't seen the movie,
I want to suck your
and then
dick.
Heather,
you dodgy guy.
We're not even into the review yet. You said fuck, Heather. That is the first trigger word.
Oh, well then, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get 100 points. I don't know, like.
I'm assuming once we say them once, we can't say them again. That's it. That's off. That's scratched off like a scratch card.
Yeah, it's gone. Then it will never come up again. You can say fuck as much as you
let me
want.
let me set the record straight, because I don't need people bullying or harassing me. There is going to be a new spoiler warning, and I have some ideas. I've been working on them, but just me and Scott, I haven't sent them over to you yet, or I'm going to send them to you via voice recording, and you can pick which ones you like, because I have some really funny ones. But you trying to call me out like that, hot Tua on your own ass. I ain't got time for that.
Your first question. What is Bella's last name?
Swan.
That's correct. You got 10
You can tell
points.
she's read the books.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're going to move on with the review. I'm going to start by saying, if you trimmed this movie down and you took out all of the long pauses that are done for dramatic effect, all of the like aerial shots showing us the forest and showing us Jacob with no clothes on, like if you took all of that out, I reckon you could condense this down to 45 minutes of just dialogue.
I say 35.
I could do it in 10.
We've heard that about you.
10 minutes is long. I don't know what you heard, but like, hey,
that's it. Heather, you know, Heather knows where it's at. If you do the shift, you get the job done, get out. Game over. No one needs to be hanging around for the sake of it.
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
I'm not. I'm too classy to spit.
We open with Bella running through a crowded courtyard of people in red cloaks as a clock tower strikes noon, when she suddenly appears in a wooded area with Edward walking towards an old lady. The old lady's her grandmother, and she basically is going to Edward, look, get back, she's going to see you. And then the old lady sees her, she's like, Gran, this is Edward. But the Gran's mouth moves at the same time hers does. And she realizes she's looking at a reflection of an old version of herself, and Edward hasn't aged a day. He wishes her happy birthday, kisses her on the forehead, and she wakes up. It's a very odd, weird dream sequence to open this movie with.
Yeah.
It is, but I'm going to give this film credit. This is probably the last time I'm going to do it. It's a great way of signifying how her fear is growing old, and him being himself, you know, and like being stuck in this sort of situation. So I did kind of like it. I kind of liked how they signified that is her fear. But again, once they do that, that is the entire movie that we kind of fall into. It's just her worrying about being stuck in this time capsule without him. But yeah, I thought that was a good representation of her thoughts and her feelings. But that's about as much gratification as I can give.
It's just to show that she was obsessed with she did not want to age, and that shows that she was afraid to lose Edward in that sense, because she would be a mortal human who's just going to die. Like, that's what's going to happen. We're all going to, die. And so for her, that was her worst nightmare. And yeah, it like makes sense, but then you're like, Y'all don't make no fucking sense in this movie.
The meadow with the butterflies and all the rest of it, it's a bit over the top. But still, I got the message.
Sure.
I got the message, which was probably about the only thing I did get from this movie.
Well, it turns out it is her birthday, and her dad gives her a few gifts when she wakes up. She gets a camera and a scrapbook, which her mum wants her to fill with photographs of her time at school and her friends. She heads off to school where she meets up with Edward, and they share a kiss before Jacob wants to talk to her. I love the fact that Edward knew Jacob wanted to talk to her and that Jacob was there before we saw Jacob on camera. That's really cool. And that's something that's ingrained in actual vampire lore that I thought was great.
I mean,
me and Mark, I'm like looking at Mark being like,
I mean, like, what do you want from this, mate? Like, yes, the girl who wrote the book read a book about vampires. Like, bravo. Doesn't fucking justify the rest of the bloat around it. Like, I could read a book about vampires and incorporate factual lore, but then make them all ride around on tricycles. Doesn't mean to say that you're going to take away from it the only thing that it's factually correct about vampire lore. I mean, come on, if this is your only hook for this movie, you need to try and find something else along the way to justify it. Because I'm coming for you on this episode, because I know you're going high with your score, and I need to know why you're going high with it. And if all you've got is factual mythology, you better bring some thunder, my friend.
Wow. Has someone upset you?
That was a lot of rage.
Has somebody upset me? I watched 2 hours and 20 minutes of Twilight Part 2. Yes, somebody has upset me a lot.
We're like 5 minutes into the movie.
Bella is shocked at Jacob's appearance because he has blossomed since he was in Twilight Part 1. He is a monster of a man now, and he gives her a dream catcher. I'm going to say she got shit birthday presents across the board. She got a used digital camera, an empty scrapbook, and a dream catcher. I'd be devastated.
I think I'd be more devastated if somebody gave me a half-used scrapbook, to be honest.
Yeah.
In school, we get the normal teen bullshit we do in every one of these movies, and I'm going to skim over it. There is something that's quite important here that I am going to mention. So in one of the classes, Bella and Edward are discussing Romeo and Juliet, and he's saying that he's jealous of Bella because she's got the ability to end her own life. And it's something that's almost impossible for him to do. I also like the fact that he owns the teacher. So they're talking at the back of the classroom, and the teacher's like, sorry, is there something you'd like to share with the class? And he just spins around and just like rattles off the most perfect Shakespeare ever and sort of goes, there you go. Happy?
Well, to be fair, he's literally been in high school 100 fucking years.
100 years.
And he's taken these classes so many times. So like he doesn't have to pay attention. He knows.
He's like professor level at this point.
Oh yeah.
And also at this point, like, vampires can't take their own life, but you need to expand on that a little bit, because we find out that they're like glass or something like that, and they're just basically a rip from a claw from a werewolf can like shatter them. I don't know where I am in the timeline of whether that happens in this movie or the next. I've been on a bit of a binge, I'll be honest with you. But my point is, like, if a vampire jumped off a cliff, it would shatter like porcelain. So like, I'm just kind of curious to know how they can't end their own life.
They turned to dust, I don't remember.
It would only break if it hit a werewolf's claw on the way down. The rocks won't break it, just the werewolf's claws.
Yeah, no. I don't. I forget the lore behind that. It's different, obviously, than normal vampire lore, because there's so many different backstories for vampires, right? So you have Nosferatu until now, so it's all different. But yeah, I think they're like statuesque. I don't know either.
They are. Apparently, it's not Blade level cool. I know that much.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. The Cullens throw Bella a party. The Cullens throw Bella a party, and Edwards finishes explaining because he mentioned the Volturi but didn't get a chance to tell her what it was because the teacher interrupted. And he explains that these are like the vampire hierarchy. And he knows about this because the dad of the family, Carlisle, used to live with them. And he's like, they don't really enforce many laws. The only one they do is telling people about us, revealing us. If you do that, they will kill you. That's the one thing they enforce more than anything else. More gifts. And The family, like I really like the Cullens, and they're not in this movie enough. Do you agree with that, Mary? Because you these movies like I do. Like the Cullens, I think the main focal point, probably for me more than Bella and Edward and Jacob. And in this movie, they're just not there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like them. I feel like they are very accepting of Bella. The only one that I really can't stand is Jasper.
I'm Team Jasper.
Oh, I can't. You said
Jasper.
He looks like he's
literally all day,
himself all the time. Like I don't know.
They did him dirty as fuck with that makeup. Like they all look stupid, but like it's like they hate it. And that actor is pretty cute in real life. Like he's not a bad looking guy. But why they always make him look like like that's what it looks like the whole time. And I'm like, poor Jasper, y'all. God.
Yeah, I was the same as you guys. I was like, yeah, this dude's creepy as shit. But then I just watched part 3 and he's like an army general. I was like, yeah, this dude's badass.
Yeah. He actually is supposed to be the real brooding one in the novels, right? Because he was like in the army or whatever it was. So he was supposed to be more like the Emmett character, like the big bowed up guy with the real short hair. I think that was more. But then, like I said, I don't. Why y'all got him?
We don't care. We don't care, do we? We don't care. We're acting like we're engaged in it. We're interested in the story, but we don't care.
Sorry, what did you say, Mark? You don't what?
I don't care.
What did you say?
I want to suck your dick.
You sure you don't
care?
No,
I don't care. I don't care. That's not my catchphrase. I've never said that before.
He just doesn't fucking care.
One of my questions, you've got one now, Mark. Your question is, what 2 people does Bella go to the movies with in this movie?
She goes with Jacob and the creepy stalker guy from high school. I don't know his name, but the guy who's like obsessed with her, but I think he's going out with the chick from Pitch Perfect. Are they together? Are they together, the chick from Pitch Perfect and him?
You know, I'm going to give you that. It's close enough. It's Mike and Jacob. So you and Heather are both on 10 points. Me and Mary are on 0 points, which means we haven't said a trigger word, which means we'll win because we'll get 100 points and you two have 20. Anyway, but moving on. Alice gives out her gift and Bella...
Whoa. You're playing as well?
No, I'm not.
But you know the trigger word, so you know not what to say.
No, exactly. So it's a disadvantage. Mary's playing solely on her own for our team.
Oh, right, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But again, you've also wrote the questions and could quite easily cater this to yourself.
100% I could. Bella cuts her hand, and I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of Jasper, but in this moment where he went to kill her, I'm like, go Jasper, it's your birthday. Edward here is just so over the top. Like, he's a super fast, super strong vampire. And instead of like stopping Jasper, he decides to throw Bella like 18 foot across the room through a glass table. Before
and she looked like a goddamn dummy. The way she hit that backboard, I said her legs broke. Look, she went like this. I said, damn. When I saw it, I was like, why Edward do that to her? Like, that was, I get what you're saying. He could have attacked Jasper first, but it was like, bitch, move, bitch, get out the way. He did. Like, that was fucked up.
What I do like here that I thought was really clever is they showed that everyone in this family, regardless of what level they're at, apart from the dad character, have issues being around bleeding humans. Alice, who's like her best friend in the world's like, I just need to excuse myself, and takes Jasper away. And Edward has to be sent away because he's looking at Bella like she's a chicken wing. And I thought they'd done showing the cravings for blood. I thought they'd handled that really well.
Carlisle the best because like he's had all these years to, I guess, like practice the self-control, but Edward does fine. And I would say Alice is the one that's with Jasper with the black hair. That's I think she can control it, but I see why she had to leave because he threw her ass. He didn't cut her up more, made her into a fucking buffet. She had a paper cut and then she like cut her arm open. So
I don't trust Carlisle. I like him as a character in this movie, but he's a doctor, so he has like multiple supplies to like blood bags and stuff. You know he's getting his hit at work.
He he might be. I've met him, the actor who plays him, Peter Facinelli, in real life. He's super, super sweet. He's a really nice guy.
I can imagine he is.
Not brooding. You know how he looks so tall in the film? He looks real big. He's not a big guy at all. So I guess the movie magic. Yeah.
He's my favorite of the Cullens, I think. Like I like him.
He can get it.
But I know he's got like an
I want
addiction.
to suck your dick.
Did you say he can get it? Another question for you. What does Bella ask Edward for her birthday? What does she want for her birthday from Edward?
A kiss?
That's correct. Well done. 20 points.
Yeah, but look, this is how they kiss. Hold on. This is going to be Edward, my microphone. They're like, how they kiss. No, it's like they're in pain. It's like when she's like, kiss me, and it looks like it hurts. And I'm like, man, I've kissed a bunch of boys in my life. That sounds horrible.
Are they together at this point in real life?
I think Mary, do you remember? I think they may have still been together, maybe.
Did they start dating after the first movie?
Maybe. I think there's an age difference too. I know that Robert Pattinson I think he's older than her anyways.
Yeah, I think she was like 18 in this movie. And
18 and he was probably 24, 23, something like that. Yeah. But I don't, they probably are dating, but obviously she plays for the other team. And that's probably why she didn't want to kiss him like that. She was like,
I think as well as part of his character, his point is to like show restraint. Like he finds it really difficult to have that connection with her
because he would
physically
destroy her if he got. You know what I'm saying? Like her
I know what you're saying.
Planet. Yeah, what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like that's why he's like, I can't kiss you because like I'll fucking blow a hole through her. Like
if he kisses her, he'll do this to her.
Oh, you gotta get him that hot tour and spit on that thing. You get me?
Oh my gosh.
Mary, literally,
that's
that's
so
Scott's most favorite thing. And I don't know if he's like, I'm going to have to message Lisa to make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
So everyone who's listening, I've got that audio saved on my phone. And quite often, Lisa works with me. And I will say to Lisa, oh, Lisa, could you do me a favor quick? She'll go, yeah, of course. What do you need? And I'll just play that audio. I do that 10 times a day and have done.
I bet she's so sick of your ass. I bet she's like, she's going to hot to you in your fucking face.
She can secretly beat you in your sleep.
I
know. This movie takes a drastic turn here that was so unexpected and wasn't, I didn't see it coming. Edward goes and meets Bella. He's not at school. And then Bella goes and finds him and they meet up and they go for a walk in the woods. And he's like, look, our family's been kind of rumbled a little bit. Carlisle should be 10 years older than he looks. And people are starting to notice. So we're going to move. And she's like, oh, great. That's brilliant. I'll go home and pack my stuff. And he's like, no, we're going to move. Like, you're going to stay here. Her breakdown. Mary, can you take us through her breakdown? Because her breakdown is traumatic.
Oh, when she's in the woods?
Yeah.
Is it a breakdown?
It's really like he leaves and she decides to curl up in a ball and fall asleep in the woods. I mean, I don't. It was very, I guess, very 17-year-old like behavior. I don't know.
I mean, sure. Also, her acting was atrocious.
You
don't want me?
I know.
No, bitch, I don't. Bye.
This is the thing as well, though. I will say, like, we are all adults talking about this movie.
Yeah.
When I was like 16, 17 and a breakup hit me hard when I was young like that. I mean, I don't know if I've ever fallen asleep in the woods, but like it felt like my world was imploding and there was nothing left for me to live for. So I kind of get what they were trying to represent.
Yes.
Do you know what? Let's just move on. I don't know why I'm trying to justify this movie in this point. I don't want to be known to be that guy on this episode.
Right. You have to put yourself in that time frame of your own life.
Yes.
And
exactly.
Yeah.
But like now as an adult, I'm like, seriously, get a grip, child. Come on, let's just move on.
I've been married 3 times. Like I'll just be like, oh well.
Me too. Yeah.
Look, go into the woods and get a new one. Yeah. I just don't have time for nonsense. No.
Me and Heather collect spouses like people collect Pokemon cards, and when we're done with them, we get a new one.
I mean, I'm
You
stuck
guys,
with. I mean,
honestly.
I've been with this one for 10 years. Yeah, something like that.
I've been with Lisa
Well,
that
so his
long
days
as well.
are numbered. Then is that what you're saying?
Maybe we'll see.
We see a dark black figure, wolf, in the woods here. It's the first glance we get at a wolf. Bella goes manic depressive. Like there's a search party for her because she's gone so long, and then one of the wolf boys like carries her out, one of the guys from the reservation, who for no reason at all is topless all the time. Just
that doesn't look suspect as fuck at all, does it not?
There's a reason why he doesn't have clothes on, but like it does look suspect when you're carrying in.
It just walks into an army of police topless carrying this missing 18-year-old. I'm like, put that dude in handcuffs until we know what the fuck's going on.
Charlie didn't know that they're woofing out there in those woods. And so like that's kind of like in the book, they basically would like their clothes would rip off of them type of thing, and they would have extra clothing for them to put shorts on. They wore jorts, shorty shorts. And that's kind of like why they're always like that. But I mean, he wasn't bad looking, so at least it's something to look at.
They have these like weird 3/4 length shorts with like the cargo pockets in. I'm like, nobody in real life should be wearing those anyway, let alone werewolves. Scott,
I don't like long shorts
Scott,
like that.
Stand
They're
up, let
like
me see what you're wearing.
No, I'm not wearing them now, but I do own some.
In fact, we had a conversation before we came on air where you told me how hot your conservatory was. So you literally sit in a t-shirt when you're on work meetings. Yeah. Can you just stand up for me just to make sure we're all comfortable in this situation?
No, I have got shorts on.
Oh, that's okay.
Right, okay. Okay, we didn't know if he was like.
I just had to make sure. I had to make sure.
Winnie the Pooh in it. That's the best phrase ever.
Yeah, Pooh Bear, man. I've heard the Pooh Bear phrase.
Yeah. So, I mean, you might do that shit. You can do that shit. Just if you're recording with me, keep your ding dong down. Make that a new catchphrase.
I did warn, ding dong down.
I did warn everyone that this episode was going to go places. Where it goes now is into a manic depressive state for about 20 minutes of the movie. We see the seasons change, we get crying, we get nightmares, we get moping around, we get like
screaming.
This goes on. The screaming. Like I like this movie, but where she's lying in bed, hugging her pillow and punching her bed and screaming at the top of her voice, I'm like I go exactly where Charlie goes, because Charlie turns around to her and is like, I love you, but you're going to live with your mum because I can't be doing with your shit no more.
That's what I'm saying. Like Charlie's fine as hell. Thank you, Charlie, Daddy. And I'd be like, I'm moving out, Bella. You fucking old enough. You're gonna scream all night. I can't sleep. You're not a toddler anymore. What are we doing?
I mean, that was what, 3 or 4 months of her.
Yes,
just sitting in the same clothes in the same chair.
This is it. And I know it's trying to represent heartbreak. I know it's trying to represent heartbreak, but it almost does it in a literal sense, like as if her heart is literally breaking, the kind of excruciating pain she's going for. And I'm like,
I guess
this is just ridiculous. Like, I don't understand how you can represent something like this so obviously on screen and expect anybody to take it seriously. Like, what are you doing?
Well, she does come out of it. She does come out of it, and she says, "Look, I'm going to go to town with one of my friends. I'm going to do a bit of shopping, and we're going to see a movie, and everything will be all right." She goes shopping, and when they've been shopping, she sees a biker gang. She's like, I want to see him. I'm going to go and see him." And she wanders down there and gets, because like when she was attacked in the first movie, Edward turned up and saved her. So her teenage logic is like, if I go down there with those bikers and get in loads of trouble, Edward's going to magically appear, save me, and whisk me away. He does appear. I did not expect to get Ghost Edward in this movie first time I watched it.
That's what I thought.
Oh, my love, my darling. This was the most ridiculous thing ever.
That's why I call him Spooky Boy.
This ghost projection bullshit that happens now. Like, yes, Scott, I know you're going to go on this whole path about how accurately correct it is to vampire lore. That may be the case, but this is some of the most stupidest shit I've ever seen put to screen. This fucking glittery vampire turns up as a shadow realm and starts fucking like, no, don't go on the bikes, Bella. It's not safe. You promised me you'd be careful. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why is this happening? Why is this happening?
Why do we have Edward on the show? Thank you, guys. We have Edward calling live.
So is that a vampire law? That's actually a vampire law?
I don't know.
I know Dracula can do it. I know Dracula can do it because he does it in Bram Stoker's Francis Ford Coppola's thing.
Wait. So these
but I haven't seen it.
It was like a real.
Yeah. So early.
Really appearing?
Yeah, he was.
Even you don't believe it, and you're a Twilight fan.
I just thought she needed some fucking therapy. I didn't. I didn't know those were real police. I don't know.
Yeah, so in original vampire lore, when you're talking like Dracula and old school vampires, they had the ability to project. It's called projection, where they could project their essence to another place and have a conversation with someone and then bring it back. I think in original lore, they had to be in a coffin and it had to be a certain time and the moon had to be aligned. But yeah, vampires can allegedly.
You get it in Nosferatu, and again, you get it in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Well, yeah, it's in New Moon. It's I don't know how to explain it. I'm at a loss of words for that. Maybe so. You're right, but it's not like that projection that you're really describing. It's literally like spooky boys right there, and you're just like, oh, what's it? He's a ghost.
Like the thing is, in like Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola one, you get like the eyes in the clouds in the skies, and you can hear his voice, and she can hear him. So it's like he's looking over through the clouds. That's a really cool way of representing projection. Here, this is like some full-on Patrick Swayze bullshit, and I'm like, what is going on?
I do like that movie, but anyways,
it's a cool movie. I know. Yeah. We should talk about Ghost because it's a lot better movie than this.
It's after this, like she sees Edward a couple of times. She makes the guy stop the bike. She goes home, and then she renews her friendship with Jacob. She's like, "Well, Edward's not here. There's a hunky guy with a six-pack who looks hot. I'll talk to him." She buys 2 dirt bikes that are broken, and the 2 of them fix them up. And I kind of like this bonding scene. It goes on for far too long, and it just sort of shows that they're really close friends, and he likes her more. It's very teenagery drama stuff.
Yeah.
But it escalates quite quickly. So they get the bikes fixed, and Bella goes for like zooming off on the bike because she wants to get that adrenaline rush and see Edward again. And she falls off and bangs her head. And then Jacob comes over, and Jacob takes his top off to like put on her head and like stop the bleeding. And she looks at Jacob.
You gotta give him that huck too and spit on that thing.
I don't want that woofy stuff.
She goes to school, and she starts like getting involved with her friends again. And she's like, "Look, I want to go to the cinema." And Mike is like, I'll come with you. And it turns out that it's just her, Mike, and Jacob that go.
Yeah.
Mike needs a slap because Mike's watching an action movie and has to go and throw up.
But this whole thing as well, like she's trying to be an adrenaline seeker. She's putting her life on the edge so that Edward would come and see her. And she goes and watches Rush Hour 2. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is the most ludicrous thing I've ever watched in my life. Like, she's being a thrill seeker. So she's going to the cinema to watch an action movie that might have some blood and some gunshots in it. I'm like, yeah, Edward's going to turn up and say, "I'm sorry, darling, but this is a PG-13. Please exit the cinema." Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. It's awkward scene, so I don't know.
It's outside of the screen that things take a turn. So you've got Bella is sat with Jacob, and Mike comes over, and Jacob. The only way I can describe this is he turns into Andrew Tate. He literally turns around and he's like, he looks at Mike, he points at him, and he goes,
"You are poor, you are weak, you are stupid, you are ugly, and you are short. You are none of the things I am." "Well, I have an opinion." "Well, yeah, Tate thinks this, but I think..." "Nobody cares what you think. You're poor and stupid and weak and small. I don't care."
It's terrible, but it's kind of true.
Does become that character, and I was sat scrolling TikTok before I got to this scene, and I'd literally just put my phone down, and I'd just finished watching Andrew Tate have a rant about being Andrew Tate, and Jacob just literally done exactly the same, and I just went,
Yeah.
That's where Andrew Tate got his inspiration from. He wants to be Jacob from Twilight.
Who doesn't? I mean,
not me. I don't like dogs and shit anyway, so I'm not a fan.
Jacob goes.
Wolfness over there.
Jacob leaves. Jacob's like, I've got to go, and he leaves.
Yeah.
And after this, Bella goes back into her depression, and we get another 10 minutes of crying and screaming and nightmares. And during her depression, she goes to see Jacob, who's now had a haircut, and he's like, look, go away. I want nothing to do with you now. I'm not your friend anymore. And Bella's sad. So she goes for a walk in the woods where her and Edward used to go to reminisce. And she bumps into one of my favourite characters from the first movie, Laurent.
Oh, I like him. Yeah.
He's so cool. And he's like, oh, I've just been up to the Cullens to say hi, and they're not there. Are they still around? And Edward appears next to her. He's like, lie. Lie. She's like,
Ghosty.
yeah. They still pop in. He's like, lie better.
Casper Cullen.
Casper Cullen. Yes.
Just again.
Love it.
Oh, jeez.
She can't lie. And this is where Laurent's like, well, I know they're gone. Victoria sent me to check that they're gone. She wants to kill you. I'll be honest. I'm going to kill you because I want to. And I will do it nicer than she will.
She will.
Yeah.
And this is where we get the wolves. Thoughts on the wolves, Mary? You could take us through the wolves.
I didn't mind the wolves, honestly. I didn't mind it. I mean, if you read the books, they're pretty fucking massive in the books. So I felt like they did a good job of like representing the image that was in my head from the books.
Yeah.
I mean, it has aged, but in 2009, that was awesome, I thought, back then.
Yeah, I mean, the size wasn't an issue for me. It was more the fact that when they jumped out from behind the trees, they looked like Top Cat and the gang than anything else. And it was like the worst CGI I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I have a 4-year-old who could do better graphics on a pencil and paper than what they presented to us on the screen.
Yeah. No, I agree with Mark. I think that's what it is. It's like, it's not the size of the wolf or the woofing. It's the fact that it looks like, I mean, like, I have an original Nintendo that it's about the same. That's what it is. So I'm very picky about CGI. This has been said before. I would just rather not. I'm all about practical effects. I just love films that have it. I know, I understand for that's harder to do, but it's almost like, could you have?
I don't know. I've heard that werewolves are like the hardest to do for practical effects. So
maybe,
maybe. But like the thing is, like I will say this about it though. Like I saw it the first time, and I laughed, and I was like, "That's brilliant."
Yeah, no, it's funny.
But then I kind of fell into it, and after that first initial shock, it kind of didn't feel so bad to me anymore. After that point,
initial shock. Okay.
But like, and I will say this: it's not the worst, but it is very obvious.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And I think is it Eclipse where they have telepathy and they like talk to each other, but their mouths don't move? I scream.
Bella runs for her life. She runs home. She tells her dad and one of the reservation elders that it's not bears that are attacking people in the forest as they thought because there've been bear attacks. It's wolves. And the dad's like, let's arrange a hunting party. And the reservation elder who knows they're werewolves, like, yeah, sure. I'll get some guns. I'll come and help you. The next day, Bella goes to Jacob's house, and the dad's like, no, sorry, he's sleeping. She's like, I need to see him, and barges in. And
bit tight that, because like the guy's in a wheelchair, you know, like you shouldn't be doing that and like pushing your way through.
But she did.
She did.
I was like, Bella, come on, you're better than that.
She's an angry teen. I mean,
she gently wheeled him out of the way.
Yeah, but I mean, to take his brakes off and push him out the way was a little bit like, come on, what's he going to do? He's trying to be authoritative and say, step out of my house. All she did was like lift the brakes and just like, sorry, sir.
Wait, did she actually
I was
do
like,
that?
She did talk about a guy's ego.
Yeah,
no, she didn't. She didn't take the brakes off.
She does. She does. Do you see her do the leg thing to get the brakes?
She's just always at an 11 the whole time. Instead of being like a 3, she's like, no, I have to go over the top over everything. So
yeah, she wakes Jacob up, and Jacob's like startled, like, what the fuck are you doing in my room?
Yeah.
And this is where she sees Sam and the other members of the wolf pack walking up as humans. As she bursts out of the house, runs down and starts having a go at them. You will leave Jacob alone. He's scared of you. And they all start laughing. And then with that, she slaps one of them and he transforms into a warehouse. A warehouse? No, he doesn't. He transforms into
he is a warehouse.
He is
a warehouse of a werewolf.
I ain't even say nothing because he'd be saying shit wrong, and I'm just me. My eyes itching. Just go ahead, Scott.
For anyone who's interested, I know Mark's not. Mark, don't interrupt me because you know you're going to say it. But this is the most accurate representation of a werewolf transformation in a film based on the original werewolf novel. So original novels had werewolf transformations were almost instantaneous. They were often brought on by rage, and they were normally within a 1-week period of a full moon. So they could be triggered by anger. It didn't have to be a full moon at night. And it was never a painful transition in original novels. That changed as we developed werewolves, and they're now the transformations are slow and painful. But in original novels, in the original Dracula, for example, werewolf transformations are instantaneous. They go from man to wolf, and they are fully aware of their human side within them, so they can show restraint. And I thought that was it's a really cool thing to incorporate in this film. Mark says it doesn't deserve it, and it's just that she read it.
I mean, like, seriously, like, now you've said it out loud now, I'm like, shit, man, give this movie an Academy Award because it deserves it. Because the girl who wrote this book, she did her research, man. Do you know what I mean? And that counts for something. It counts for something.
Or she just watched a lot of, like, was it True Blood? Was True Blood out before this? True Blood was out before Twilight, right? Wasn't it? Or was it after? Somebody stole somebody's material. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, everybody stole this material from the OC like 10 years ago. Like, the OC did this shit, but without vampires and werewolves.
I want to suck your dick.
Fuck!
Did you say the OC?
Fuck, I knew I should have said that this episode.
I don't even
know. Mark, what temperature does Jacob run?
What temperature? That's not speed. Like, you mean like what do you mean? Like he
his
ran?
Body
like
heat. How warm is he?
I don't fucking know. Like hot. Like.
Yes.
That's correct.
Like how hot is it? Oh, that is
just hot.
Yeah. I know my shit. Yeah, it was hot.
She screams and starts running up to the house. And as she's running up to the house, Jacob is running the other way, and she's going, "No, Jacob, run away, run away!" And he does the most amazing leap over her. And as he bunny hops over her, fully transforms in midair into a werewolf. They have a werewolf fight, and they tumble off into the forest, and it's fucking awesome.
I will agree with you. It is pretty cool. CGI aside, it's actually pretty cool when he does run and then like sort of like does that whole Marvel I am Batman transformation thing and just like that was cool. That was cool. What the fuck have I done now?
You said Batman.
Well,
you do talk about Batman often. I can remember several episodes.
Yeah.
I'm not even a big Batman fan.
What is it called when a werewolf picks a mate?
Pairing. No, not pairing. What is this? What?
Come on. 5, 4,
3.
She doesn't have control over the countdowns.
Oh, you gotta give it that huck to and spit on that thing. You get me?
I'm sorry, you didn't get that one. It's imprinting.
Yeah, I was like,
how is this imprinting? How? Explain to me how this is imprinting.
You're imprinting your penis into their vagina. You're imprinting it.
That is the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. This is not imprinting. was the worst
What is
help
that
I've ever had
actually?
in my life.
Do you remember when people would do that in school though? I'm just saying, kids would do that, and I'd be like, "Why is it so fast? Is that how fast you are?" What or is it like? That's for the advanced. That's for the advanced team.
Can I also ask as well? You went like this on your microphone. How is that imprinting?
This I don't know. I didn't. That wasn't for you. That was because I almost knocked it off my desk, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Right. Well, thanks for the help, guys. That was terrible.
Yeah, you're welcome. 100%.
I'm broken. Anyone who's watching this on YouTube, no, not on YouTube, on Rumble, I apologize.
Yeah. You know you don't. You never be sorry.
No, I'm never sorry. Never sorry. No. Now, Sam tells them to take Bella down to Emily's house. Now, Emily is Sam's girlfriend. Emily has a great big scar on her face because Sam likes it rough when he turns into a werewolf. Like they explained that they explained the whole werewolf thing while they're sat there.
Yeah.
And then Sam and Jacob and everyone comes back and they're all buddies because that's what blokes do. They have a fight and then they're best of friends again, which tracks again, accurate for this movie, Mark. Now,
Jacob I honestly can't.
Jacob takes Bella for a walk and he explains that they are there to a werewolf becomes a werewolf when it smells a vampire. When they're the right age and there's a vampire nearby, it becomes a person becomes a werewolf and joins the pack.
This I will say is cool, right? Because it gives the werewolf purpose rather than repetition of lunar basis and all the rest of it.
Okay.
So basically it's saying like whenever there is a threat within their midst, the younger of the clan hit that pubescent period where they then feel a call to become something like a guardian, which I thought was really cool logic to explain the relevance of them and the relevance of the vampires at the same time. And obviously because the Cullens are not a threat, obviously there was less of them and it was a weaker thing. And then now obviously with Victoria in the mist and all the rest of it and the hunt for Bella, the fact that there was more and there was a resurgence and there was an army of werewolves building, I was like, yes, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
really
about as
like
much glorification as I have to give it.
I also like that he says, look, we are as tough as they come. We killed that vampire that was chasing you like easily. We ripped him apart. There is another vampire knocking around with red hair. We can't catch her and we don't know why she won't go away. Normally we scare them away. She won't leave. And Bella's like,
it's me. It's me.
Mario.
But Bella is literally like, look, that's my fault. Like Edward killed her other half last year because of me. She wants me. So she gets put on werewolf protection duty where they're like running like laps around her house to make sure she's safe. And we get some more sort of leaps in things here. Like everything happens really fast from this point. This next 10 minutes, everything's happening. Yeah, yes.
I don't know, mate. There isn't a lot of things that move fast in this movie, I'll be honest with you.
No, I mean the wolves move pretty fast. The vampires are fast, but like plot, absolutely
No,
not.
plot. I'm talking plot only.
Yeah, no.
The plot moves quickly here, so everyone at home.
I mean, in comparison, no, you need to use the word in comparison. So, in comparison to what we spent the last 16 hours watching, this next 45 minutes kind of feels like a bit of a progression.
Yeah.
So, anyway, you've got the dad, Charlie, and the village elder have gone out to hunt the wolves in the forest. And while they're doing this, Bella is going for a walk and she's decided she wants to go cliff jumping because it will make Edward come to her again. Victoria attacks the village elder and Jacob is the wolf. Jacob attacks her and the old man starts having a heart attack. Jacob chases Victoria all the way to the coastline where she does the most beautiful Lara Croft dive off the cliffs into the water. At the same time, Bella does not want to be outdone. She is the star of this movie. So she throws herself from a cliff into the water.
Like a rag doll.
Like a rag doll.
That's what she looked like.
Yeah.
There's nothing elegant about it. No.
Now, I love this movie. There is this bit now I cannot defend it. So, Mary, I'm going to pass to you. What on earth is going on in the water where they're like she's floating and she sees Edward floating next to her? Like, I don't get it.
Oh, when she is that before or after she hits her head on the rock? Well, that was Victoria.
Before. No. That was after. Victoria comes to her in the water, apparently. Apparently. Yeah. And then she swims backwards and hits her head. And then we have this whole Edward Jacob thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, he's a spooky boy.
I mean, she cliff dived. She did something dangerous, and he appeared in the water. Yeah,
right. Yeah,
it's weird.
That's what I thought.
It's strange because she jumps off the cliff and falls into the water, and she's absolutely fine. He didn't appear to her as she was jumping. He sort of tried to prevent her from doing so. She lands in the water, and then she gets this weird, like, premonition as if, like, Victoria's swimming towards her, which we know isn't true because the wolves are chasing her out of state or whatever you want to call it. So she didn't actually see Victoria in the water. So she swims backwards, the waves hit her, knocks her into a rock, and she bangs her head, at which point knocks her out, and then we get this vision of Edward sort of giving her a lullaby as she dies, because he can't do fuck all. He's just there as Patrick Swayze. So as she's sinking, and then all of a sudden Wolfman comes and drags her out of the water and brings her onto shore and gives her CPR. Like, why?
I don't know either. I don't think I paid that much attention. Like in the concept of that scene, she was just hallucinating. Like, I don't know either. So see, I don't know. It basically
because it doesn't make sense, Heather. That's why it doesn't make sense.
No, I get you. No, it doesn't. That's why I kept trying to think, like, what the fuck is going on? Actually, like,
if you're a Twilight fan who's listening, you can call the show. Send us an audio DM on X or on Instagram and explain to all of us.
I'll ask my daughter.
Nobody's listening to this episode.
I just want to do a quick shout out. My friend Angela, she's obsessed with the books and the movies, and she actually went to this in Washington. It's Washington. Where is it?
Forks.
Yeah, she went there recently and visited the whole like Colin house and Bella. And she's listening to this episode, and she better do a call in.
She better call in. She better call in because I need clarification.
Also, I'm going to add, because Mark said no one's listening to this, our last Twilight episode, because I checked, our last Twilight episode sits at number 11 in our most listened to episodes.
People are going to listen to this, Mark, because obviously
they shouldn't.
There's a lot of closet.
They shouldn't. I'm part of the show. I'm part of this show. I don't want anybody to listen to this shit.
Why? Whatever. Anyways, come on.
Here, things escalate even more than they already have. It really ramps up now. So Bella gets taken home by Jacob after he hooks her out of the water. And when she gets there, Alice is there. And Jacob does this whole thing of, I can't protect you. And she's like, no, I'm fine. I can see her car. It's cool. I'll go talk to her. She goes in and talks to Alice. And Alice's like, I thought you were dead. Edward thinks you're dead. He's going to go and reveal himself to the Volturi. And like,
shock! Romeo and Juliet ripoff. Let's do this.
Well, yeah, 100%. Like, yeah.
It's not like they didn't set it up for us to know where it was going in the beginning.
I think you would praise that in other movies where they show you something at the beginning and bring it full circle. Don't shit
not something as obviously cliche as this. I mean, as soon as I saw it at the beginning, I was like, oh, I guess I already know the plot of Twilight 2.
Twilight. I like that you call it Twilight 2 and not New Moon.
I mean, it is Twilight 2, though, right?
Twilight Part 2, Part 3, 4, 5. Like,
that's where I'm going with this.
You're right.
Alice is amazing. I love Alice, and I love her interaction. Jacob comes in, and she's like, right, I'm going to go, and I'll come back once you've put the dog out. And like all of this, I love like all this little in-sniping. I think it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
I like this.
Jacob and Bella have an argument and the phone rings and it's Edward, and Jacob answers and he's like, oh, can I speak to Charlie? He's like, no, he's arranging a funeral. And you see Edward crush the phone. It's like, yeah, you're not in a good place. It becomes
again, right? Like, look, no. I need to call this out now because that just makes the whole death of the dude in the forest the whole purpose of this entire phone call. So as soon as this phone call happened, I was like, oh, that's why he died. So we can have this sort of little fucking ghostly play about it might be Bella, it might not be Bella. I was like, bullshit. I called bullshit on the entire situation. I could smell it coming. It stank to high heaven. Dog shit. I do not like this. I was like, what the fuck?
His thoughts. Like, wouldn't he be able to read his thoughts?
Yeah,
Well, he can't read Bella's thoughts, apparently.
But he can read Jacob. And
yeah.
Does it work though when you're in Brazil? Because he's in Brazil, so it's
maybe
like
he doesn't look over the phone. I don't know.
See, and that's another thing as well. Like, he is in Brazil. Like, I know he's in Brazil because of the statue that is in the background. It's like
I thought they were in.
This is my point. This is my point. Like, his whole little villa,
Rome or like
Edward,
not Rome.
Exactly.
Edward went on his own. He needed space. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing is he's in his apartment when he finds out that Bella might be dead, and you get the Rio de Janeiro statue of like Jesus thing behind him in the background. But the next thing we know is in like Venice with like all these cloak things. And I'm like, did this dude just get on an aeroplane, or did he just glitter into the fucking wind? Like, what's going on now?
Just sparkled like that.
Yeah, let's all just agree that Twilight's bullshit. We can all move on, and we can all go on and live our life happily.
Anyway,
I think you had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah, this becomes a road trip movie from here. You see Alice and Bella get on a plane, then they go and get in a yellow sports car, and it becomes the Fast and the Furious for a couple of minutes as they drive through the streets, frantically trying to get to Edward. Bella gets out of the car because there's a roadblock and they can't go any further.
No, you're going to skip over it and I'm not going to let you. Right, we need to go back. Right, this whole car scene, this whole car journey, like I'm all for rolling roads in movies where they don't actually physically drive a car because it's not safe. You know?
Yeah.
This was some of the most ridiculous things I have ever seen in my life. These two are clearly on a rolling road with a fucking CGI screen behind them. It was like something out of the 1940s James Bond level movie stuff. And I was like, this 100%. Is ridiculous. I've seen this done better in like Friends and like other TV sitcoms than what I'm witnessing from a 2009 cinematic masterpiece, apparently.
Yeah.
What is going on in this?
People are not watching it for that, Mark. They don't have that eye. Like,
No. You don't need to have the eye to notice it. It was that glaring. She's there with the Marilyn Monroe headscarf. They're sat in this car, and it might as well have just been a sea of lights behind them with the CGI rolling road bullshit. I was like, this is pathetic attempt at trying to create cinema.
But the demographic that Twilight was after, Twilight Part 2, in case you guys didn't know, is that unless you had some titties, some boobies, and you were like, a prepubescent teen, getting some boobs, maybe that was your thing.
I would give this movie more of a pass if this had some boobs. If I got to see a little bit of boob, I might even give this a little bit more credit.
Mark, no sir. Let me tell you something. The author, she's Mormon. You ain't gonna see no titties. You ain't gonna see no ding dings. You ain't gonna see no booties. You don't see nothing.
Her religion is not going to save her for what she's passed upon this world with these books.
Hey, some people get off on that shit. They like, oh, I can't wait, and then it's like nothing happens.
Yeah, the devil has a hot plate ready for her when she gets down there for fucking casting this on the world. I tell you.
She made a lot of money though, so whatever.
I hope she enjoys it while it lasts.
Wow. Okay, with that hot take out of the way, we find out Edward has been to the Volturi to try.
Are we still going with this shit? Seriously?
Yeah, we're getting there. We got to get there.
He's the Volturi say no. He's too powerful. We need to keep you alive. So he decides to go and expose himself to a crowd of people, including minors. Like I said earlier, he is definitely a paedophile. Bella gets to him just in the nick of time with one of the most extended and epic slow-mo runs through a water fountain ever put to screen. It's
brilliant. Yeah, really good. I like this. And this is the thing. We've like spent 2 hours and 13 minutes now, and we've got 4 minutes left to go.
Yeah.
Things are actually starting to get interesting. Like I'm actually invested in this movie now. Like it's got to the point where I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes.
Yeah, they're summoned to the Volturi. The Volturi are so cool, especially the girl with the torture powers. Like, if I was a vampire, and this was the world, the vampire world I lived in, 100% I would be chilling with the Volturis because they look like they are a barrel of laughs. I reckon they party hard, they kill people, like they're great. I'd be with the Volturis.
You're talking about Jane, the blonde-headed one.
That's
a Fanning sister. Yeah.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning. Yeah. One thing I will say actually that I really do like about this whole world is how the vampires themselves have like sort of their own individual abilities, sort of like an X-Men level kind of class thing. Like Alice can see into the future, and Edward is like the Wolverine of the group. He has like this elite ability, and no one knows exactly what he's capable of. That's really, really cool. And they all have their own little thing. I think that's amazing. I think that's really, really intriguing. And I was fully invested in that. When we start getting introduced to these characters, when we get to the Volturi Council, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, she can do that. He can do this. And even though, like, the whole fucking weird hair and a brother, the Justin Bieber lookalike thing was a bit creepy, it was cool to see that they have that sort of range, and it made me invested again. And that's the problem that I have with this whole Twilight universe, because the thing is, it's actually really, really cool if you break it down into certain bullet points with the things that they're presenting on screen and the way that this story unfolds and how this world is developed is like really, really cool. It's like, oh yeah, that vampire can do this, but he does that. And then the High Council like him because he's like the main fucking second coming, and we want to know what he can do. All of that shit's great, but it's just so bloated by the rest of the bullshit that comes around it. And it's a shame because when we got to this point with the Volturi Council, I was fully invested in this movie.
It's because it's stupid because like who wrote it? Like her fantasy, if you think about it, you could break it down and you could totally make it into this like erotic kind of thing. You could make it much more like edgier, sexier, not catered to a younger audience, obviously, maybe like more on the True Blood spectrum where that stuff gets saucy, right? But you had someone that was like, I got my khaki skirt on, and bitch, I raised it up above my ankles, and it's fucking time. Like, that's what kind of shit we dealing with. Like, that's how sexy we're gonna get. Now, Stephanie Myers might be a freak. I don't really know her. I don't know.
Definitely.
I don't know what she does.
Yeah,
she might be a hoe.
Yeah, we know what she does.
You gotta give him that hawk and spit on that thing. You get me?
She's spitting on all the things, probably.
I like so Aro, Michael Sheen's great. Like I think his power is one of the best powers in the whole universe. He holds Edward's hand, and Edward turns to Bella and goes, "We don't need to explain anything now. He knows everything. He knows absolutely everything," which I thought was really, really cool. And this is where he's like, "So your power doesn't work on Bella? I wonder if my power works on Bella." And he does the thing where he holds her hand, and you see him like really strained. He's like, how interesting. And then he turns around to is it Jane, the one with the really red eyes?
Yes, Jane.
He's like, maybe we should all try our powers on Bella. Jane, you go next. And as Jane's about to use her power, Edward attacks. Now Edward is super fast and super strong, so you see him like obliterate this guy. This guy does like a backflip as he like backhands him, and he goes for Jane. Mary, thoughts on Jane's powers?
She's the one that does the pain, right?
Yeah, just pain.
I love how she just glares and he like recoils into like the most painful thing you can imagine. I think that is one of the best powers, not just in this franchise, but any movie, to have a power where you just look at someone and go pain, and they are so crippled in agony they can't do anything. That's the super. At work.
I'd be going to jail.
Well, you can't. You didn't touch him. Like how?
It don't matter. Somehow they know it was me because I be getting blamed for shit anyway. So I'm like, that was me. Pain.
That power at work, like you're at work, someone pisses you off, you just look at them and under your breath go pain, and then watch
Mary. That would work for you for sure. Think about them damn kids coming there bothering you while you trying to work. I'd be like, hey, get the fuck out of here. I ain't here. No, this is school hours. Go learn.
She's awesome. I love that power.
Yeah.
I also love that while he's got Edward in absolute agony, he tells the big, like, Incredible Hulk vampire to kill Edward. And he kicks Edward's ass for a good 3.5 minutes. He's picking him up and bouncing him off the wall and kicking him across the room. And this is where Bella jumps in. She's like, no, don't kill Edward. Take me.
Girl,
and
take her.
Arrow.
You say that though, but like Edward put up a good fight. It was like a Rocky 3 fight.
Did.
Where he was like he was getting his ass kicked, but he was rooting for the underdog.
Yeah,
like he was like coming back and he was showing some pretty slick moves. I was like, yeah, man, with a bit of training, you'd be pretty decent.
Yeah.
See, this is where Arrow's like, whoa, everyone fucking stop. Like, you stop hurting him. You stop kicking the shit out of him. Like, stop. Sorry, did you just say you want to save a soulless, heartless bastard of a vampire? She's like, yeah. He's like,
you don't know his soul.
Yeah, you don't know his soul. And he's like, well, this makes thing interesting. And this is where Alice steps in. Alice is like, I've seen she's going to be a vampire as well. And he's like, give me your hand. He basically goes, I call bullshit. Give me your hand. He holds the hand and he sees a vision of Edward and Bella running as vampires. He's like, well, it was very nice to meet you all. You all have a lovely day. Yeah, like, make sure you do it soon so we don't have to meet again. And I'll see you later. You can go now. And as they're walking out, you've got one of the other Volturi leading a group of tourists, including a little old lady and two small children.
This was brutal. This was like the darkest thing to happen in any Twilight movie. I was like, holy shit, that is brutal.
Yeah.
And Bella's sort of looking back, and Edward's like, no, we just keep going now. And as they go out the doors, you hear all these people scream as the Volturi massacre them.
I mean, they make it clear in this moment back in the council that, like, Edward and Alice, none of the rest of the Cullens, but Edward and Alice are like, they want them to join. They want them to be a part of what they've got going on because their powers are so great and so ununderstandable that they're like, we need them to be part of what we are. They're like the X-Men sort of Magneto and Professor X level kind of stuff of the group, and they want them to join them, which kind of sets up what goes into part 2, part 3. Where are we at on this dog shit?
We're on part 2
right now.
We're
part 3.
We'll be back for part 3 next year, I'm sure. Now, after this, they all go home, and Bella's like, well, they said you got to make me a vampire. Make me a vampire. Make me a vampire. Make me a vampire. And Edward's like, look, we don't need to do this. Like, we can hide it from the Volturi. And she has a, like, no, this must happen. And she makes the family, the Cullen family, take a vote. And she wins the vote by enough of a margin.
Also, as well, with this voting thing as well, that was quite cool. I like the voting thing. I like Rosalie's perspective on the whole thing. Like, they're all just welcoming her in as if, like, yeah, welcome to the gang. And Rosalie has like a genuine reason to stand up against the rest of the group.
Yeah, wait
like,
till you see her backstory. You'll see it.
I did. I've seen it in part 3.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. And so it's sad. It's because, like, legit, she just wanted to have kids and grow up and die, just be old. Like, she did not ask for this. And the rest of them seem to like being a vampire more, but you can tell she broke a bowl. That bitch is like, I hate my life. So
yeah. And I think it's cool that she stood up against a group and was like, look, I didn't choose this life. This life was given to me, and I feel like I've missed out on so much, such as children and full developed relationships and all the rest of it.
So you're gonna get that
if you want to know more, go and watch Twilight 3, because that is basically a flashback of how everybody became a vampire. You can sit for 6 hours of that.
Just wait, Mark. She gonna get to hold that ugly ass fucking baby. I swear to God, that baby is nightmare fuel. Wait till you see Renesmee.
I've seen that CGI shit in memes and stuff. I know what I've got to come, and I just don't know how many beers I need to have in preparation for watching
how many,
that.
About 4 to 6, probably. I don't know what kind of beer you drink. Yeah, 4 to 6.
Yeah, so I'll maybe up that to like maybe 12 or 13.
A whole 12 pack. You'll laugh your arse off because it's awful.
We do get a really cool end to this, kind of. We get a cool end, then we get an extra bit tagged on that I was like, didn't need that. So as they're going home, you get like topless Jort's version of Jacob in the road. Edward stops the car. And he's like, we need to talk. And he's like, don't forget, there's a really important part of our treaty between us. If one of you bites a human, I'm going to fuck you up. Yeah, I'm going to, like, you can see, like, there's joy and glee in Jacob's face. Like, if you bite her, and I know you're going to, I am going to rip you limb from limb, and it's going to be, like, the best day ever. And they have this bit where, like, Jacob's, like, ready to go, and Edward's ready to go, and Bella's like, no. This is hurting me. And Jacob,
you hurt each other, you hurt me.
She must have had the cure for something in her, you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying, like, why was she so appealing? I'm not talking shit about Kristen Stewart. I've seen her in other stuff, and she's better.
Heather, you've got a question, mate. You hit a trigger word.
Did I hit a trigger word?
What did you say? I don't think you did.
Oh, I thought that sound cue was a trigger word.
No, that was hook too.
You threw me off, Mark.
Oh, sorry, mate. I fully just fucking spit on your ramble all over that. I thought that was a trigger word for the quiz.
You just hit
your dick.
You just said
me or Mark?
Mark, because he just said spit. So Mark accusing you of having one, got his own one.
You got your own.
That's not fair.
Mark,
life's not fair. The fair only comes once a year. Get it right.
In traditional werewolf lore, can werewolves hear other werewolves' thoughts? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
50-50. Boom.
Well done. So Mark is currently in the lead with 30 points.
Good for
Heather
him.
on 20 points.
This is his show. We don't even
Mary,
care. Like,
if
it doesn't matter, Heather. To be honest, I'm a reigning champion across all quizzes. It's all right. We're kind of used to this shit around here right now.
If Mary can get through the next, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes of the show with 3-word review and TikTok talks without saying a trigger word, Mary will win because she'll have 100 points.
That's not fair. That's not fair. She hasn't even contributed to the quiz.
I am commenting less, so
she is. Mary is more calm than us. Mary's like, she not the
Mary,
same.
just get angry. Just get angry and just start ranting about Twilight.
I don't
You'll
think
be fine.
that Mary can. As long as I've known Mary, like, I feel like she can't get angry on the level of like having a fucking coronary like me every 5 minutes. Maybe you can. We all go there, but I'm just saying Mary's a much nicer person overall, where I be just saying shit. Like, I don't even know. Sometimes I'm like, I need to go to the hospital.
Yeah, I feel you, Mary. I feel like you've got it in you. Get that bitch. Fuck that shit up.
Yeah.
But you don't bring it out because you just are like, you're just a bigger person than that. But I'm not. I'm a fucking peasant, and I will start some shit. I don't care.
And that's why I love you.
And unbelievably, Mary,
I want to suck your dick.
You just said love you. And
really?
I honestly did not think anyone was going to say love you on this episode, but you did. What is the name of the group of vampires who govern the Volturi? No, that's wrong. I'll give you another question.
You can give the answer away in the question.
Let's try this again. Why does Bella fall off a motorbike?
Because she can't fucking drive.
Patrick Swayze.
Don't talk shit about Patrick Swayze. Don't talk shit about him. He's all right.
I don't know. She
I'm
runs
sorry.
into something.
No, just because you saw Edward.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well,
Patrick Swayze, man.
It doesn't matter. It is.
Anyway, this movie ends, thankfully, with Edward saying he will turn her only if she marries her, only if she marries him. And we're going to take a very, very quick break, and then we're going to be back and we're going to do 3-word reviews and TikTok talks and all that cool stuff. So see you in a sec. After this episode, why not check out the Paranormal Misfits podcast? Hosted by Chrissy and Nino, this show looks at everything paranormal, conspiracy theories, murder. They also do reviews into horror movies too. This show has it all. Also available on the You Run Podcast Network, the horror-friendly podcast hosted by Charlie, Katie and Chantel. This hilarious review podcast covers movies from the past, the present and everything else in between. You do not want to miss this great addition to the You Run Podcast Network. And all of these shows and many more are all available at yourunpodcast.com. Make sure you go and check out the other members of the You Run Podcast Network, available at yourunpodcast.com, as the advert said. Let's do 3-word review. It was slim pickings this week across all social media. On Instagram, Leprechaun 1981 is Imitation Dave. Long time listener and great guy. He went with Torturous Saga Continues. Over on Instagram, you had the Dewey Pod Monster, I Want to Sparkle, and they're a movie podcast and part of the network. We've got IK the Horror Nerd, What the Fuck, and that was questioning why the fuck we were covering a Twilight movie, and I had to explain. They're a horror account. Dave B Movies for 12 YO girls, for 12-year-old girls. And they're a movie review account.
I was like, what?
Yeah, we're too old to understand the abbreviations of stuff like that.
Salvage Horror went with No, Just No. They're a horror account. You're going to eat that crust podcast. What's a Twilight? Question mark.
What is a Twilight? What is Twilight?
Oh Jesus, we're never gonna get off this gosh damn call.
No,
because
I don't mean the movies. I don't mean the movies, but I mean like the title of the movie. Where does it come from? Like,
I don't know.
Twilight.
What is a Twilight?
Twilight is the moment before the sun sets, and it's kind of that in between night and dark.
Ask Professor Scott. I mean, he apparently knows every fucking thing. So I didn't.
More questions are coming from that. How does it have really any relevance to this movie?
Because when the sun is down and it's dark and it's not bright and sunny, the vampires can come out because they don't glitter.
Oh, fucking hell, that's Twilight fun.
There you go.
But Edward only glitters one time, technically, in the first one when he shows her, look at what I am, and he opens his shirt. But the rest of the films, I don't think he glitters anymore. Like he looks really white, like he sneezed in baby powder, but like he doesn't.
There is a lot of moments where I was like, that sun is shining enough to make you fucking sparkle like a jewel, bitch. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, come on, man.
Bitch.
Yeah, I'm like, fucking Kanye wants you around his neck, is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. They don't keep things in perspective. Sorry, I'm just saying.
Fuck your 3-word review. We're talking about sparkly vampires. It's going off right now.
Just saying, they don't keep up with shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, go ahead, Scott.
Final one, we've got Sandy Jack actor, Sparkling Vampires Avoid, and that's an actor.
Well, Sparkling Vampire.
Yeah.
I've got your back, Heather. Let's just fucking sabotage this show. Let's do this shit.
So my initial plan for this episode was to scatter TikTok talks throughout it as we reached points about the movie that someone had spoken about in a TikTok talk. I was going to share it. TikTok did not want to play to that extent. However, they did play. TikTok always delivers us something, and we have a brand new TikTok talker. This is Rebecca. She's a great TikToker. Me and Mary know Rebecca well.
Okay.
This is what she had to say about Twilight.
Video I was stitching, but the question posed was, do you like Twilight New Moon? And my answer to that question is yes, I do like Twilight New Moon. It's one of the more boring films. It has the least amount of stuff going on, not nearly as much action as all the other movies, but it has a ton of Jacob, and I was 100% Team Jacob pre-Renesmee. I liked seeing Bella in a far more human, less obsessive and codependent relationship in this film. Like I said, it's not action-packed, and no, it's not my favorite Twilight film, but I still enjoyed it.
Slaying with that color coordination. I love it.
Honestly, Rebecca always looks so on point. Like, all of her videos, like hat matches the top, like background's great. She's really, really cool TikTok account. So go and give her a follow. Let's do some facts. So facts about this movie. There were so many that I could have done an entire 2 hours, but I condensed
the trivia is crazy for it. You'd be there for hours.
So the film's premiere was moved, and it was held on the 16th of November 2009, which was to match the lunar cycle of a new moon, which I thought was cool.
Oh, Yeah, that's really cool because everybody cares about that. Like, it's really important that they did that to marry up with the.
I mean, I wouldn't have known.
No, I mean, no. Like, it's a really important movie to people's lives. So the fact that they married that up to the lunar cycle is like really, really. It feels on my soul. I can feel.
My lunar cycle is pretty regular too, so that's pretty good. But
exactly,
like,
so that must resonate with you more than anybody. Like, yeah, bitch, man, that fucking slay with those lunar cycles.
I don't think we're talking about the same lunar cycle, but anyways,
yeah, definitely not.
They did not use any red in the color palette of this movie, apart from in the Italian sequences. They deliberately kept red out of the movie until you saw all of the red robes to make them pop off the screen.
Whatever.
More.
You know what? Now you say it, I actually noticed that. Like, it was
I don't know if I noticed it, but
nobody did. That's my point. Like, nobody noticed it.
So I tell you, all right, I'm going to go with the fact someone did. Everyone noticed. So Taylor Lautner, who plays Jacob, he was going to be recast for this movie, and the reason for that was he needed to gain 26 to 30 pounds of muscle, not of weight, of pure unadulterated muscle, and there was only a 6-month gap between this, and he didn't get his contract until 3 months into that 6 months. So in 3 months he went from what he was in the first one, which was quite a doughy teenage boy, into what he was in this. And apparently when he went back to producers like a couple of weeks before filming, they had someone else there ready to go, and he kind of walked in just like shirt off, kind of went like, how's this? Is this good enough?
Well, in the novel, so they don't really do. I don't think they.
I didn't think you'd read the books, though, Heather. To be honest with you, I didn't think that was something you'd ever done. No, I'm just curious to know where you're getting this information from, because you said you'd never read them. Is that right?
No, I legit swear on my baby's life. That's how serious I am. I've never read them.
You've never read them, but you know this information from the books, though, that you're going to tell us right now.
Let her explain. Let her explain.
I'm going to kill Mark. Like, I'm coming.
Hold on. I'll just mute him.
I have your address. I've muted him.
I've muted him. He can't say anything.
Anyway, this is the thing. In the novel, he is supposedly like 6'7", right? So he's fucking huge. Yeah. I listen to other podcasts that talk about this movie, and I have just read fun facts about it because I was like, well, I want to come and do some fun stuff. I have not read the books. Like, I swear to God, on my own hawk tua, I haven't never.
It's fine. Mark's muted. You don't need to explain it to him. Like, I quite like Mark like this. It's quite nice.
He's toying with me. You know what? He likes to fuck around. He's gonna fuck around and find out.
As a little punishment, we're going to leave Mark muted now, just while I do the next fact, so he doesn't wade in. So
can I chime in for just a second?
Yeah, of course you can.
I do love the character Jake, the kid who plays Jake. However, I am a little disappointed because I think he is one of the only characters that is not indigenous. Yes. So they did, So I feel like that was a missed opportunity for like a real native indigenous person to take that role. So
can I say something? Yeah. I'm raising my hand. Look at Mark fucking staring at me. Bitch, put a hole through my body. Okay, Mary. So I think, because I listened to another podcast and that covered New Moon, and I think they said he has like a little bit, like he was, but he had to like dig paperwork up. So it was like a fucking long process to actually prove that he had any place to be in there. You know what I mean? I don't think he's like full on like the rest of the crew, but you can unmute. There's Mark. I think I muted it. There he is.
That was cruel.
It was cruel. It was funny though. In the film, Harry Clearwater's character, the reservation elder, has a heart attack. Yeah. When he encounters Victoria. This is different in the book. So in the book, the heart attack is triggered by seeing his daughter Leah turn into a werewolf.
Oh yeah, she's a wolf too. There's one girl wolf, right?
So in the books, it was only men that could that could turn, and a female turned, and the heart attack was brought on by him seeing that, which was much cooler and would have been better in the movie.
Wait, Scott, how do you know?
But she's in part 3 though, isn't she?
She is.
Have you read the books?
Mark's not coming at your dick about have you read the books?
No, you've not read the books either, have you, Anna?
No, it's like
this is all just speculation from.
Mark, they got this thing called smartphone, and you can look up anything you want.
It's all right, it's muted again. when Jacob is fixing Bella's motorbike in the garage, there's a wolf print on the back of his shirt to signify that he's a werewolf before they tell us.
Like we already fucking knew. Hello.
In the book, the movie that Bella goes to watch with everyone is called Crosshairs. For this film, it was changed to Face Punch because there was already a film called Crosshairs. And my final one before I bring Mark back and ask him a question. A vampire's diet in this movie is revealed by the color of their eyes. So the colors only eat animal meat. So you'll notice that the eyes are very much like an orangey color. And when you meet the Volturi, every single member of the Volturi has deep blood red eyes because they feed on humans. Let's bring Mark back.
That's not a fact. That's just a fucking observation.
But it's a fact. Like if you Google it.
This question is just for Mark because Mark is quite angry at this movie. Mark, this has a budget of $50 million. How much did it take at the global box office?
More than it fucking deserved. I know that for a fact. I reckon this was massive. I reckon this was insanely massive. Like 120, 140.
Okay, you're going to go 140. Where are you going, Heather?
Like total box office, like for the whole run of it being in there. God, I'm thinking like 350 to 4. I think it was ridiculously fucking high.
I was going to say like 200.
Okay, so we got 1, 2, 4. This worldwide gross was $711 million in its domestic.
I was a little closer, but yeah, because like
people need to be calling for refunds.
The Twilight franchise.
Let people have fun, Mark. Come on.
Yeah, the Twilight franchise is one of the most profitable franchises ever made. More profitable than Harry Potter.
So were 50 Shades. I know we're not talking about 50 Shades, but they made like fucking hundreds of millions of dollars too. And those movies are dog shit. Well, I've only seen the first one, but it's toxic. But people like that. But it's also supposed to be.
You probably read the book, so haven't you, Heather?
Shut the fuck up. I ain't read the book. I ain't got no. I ain't never read that book.
Right.
I watched the movie and that shit was not sexy because if that bitch would have told me what to do, I would have two in his eye and been like, "Yeah, my face."
I feel like I need to voluntarily mute myself for a moment.
We're going to wrap up the game. So the game scores at the end. Mark had 30 points. Heather had 20 points. Mary had no points because she got a question wrong. And I had 100 points because I didn't get any wrong.
No, you're not playing. That's not fair.
No, Mark wins this game. Let's round this up. I like this movie. It's not a horror movie. If it is a horror movie, it very much lives in the horror movie light. It's a building story that builds to Eclipse and other movies that come after them that get more crazy as they go along. I love how the werewolves are depicted in this. I love the Volturi and the whole vampire lore they build around them. If you took those two elements of this movie, the werewolves and the Volturi and the Cullen family, and remove the love interest element of it and stick a director like Sam Raimi behind this and make it an R-rated movie, this would be the best vampire/werewolf movie ever made. It's a good watch. It's not my favorite out of all of them, but I like it. I like it. It gets a 3 out of 5. Mary, where are you with this?
I have to agree with you. I have not watched Eclipse. What is the last one called?
Breaking Dawn 1 and 2.
Okay, so Breaking Dawn has 2 movies?
Yeah, it's 2 parts.
Oh, geez.
Is that the same in the books ever?
Oh, geez. I have read the book.
I don't know, Mark. Is it the same in the books? I mean, get your fucking phone out and Google it, bitch. I don't know. Like, Stephanie Meyer was busy. She needed to do a part 2. Shut the fuck up. Just anyway, go on, Mary. Girl, say your shit. I'm done with him.
So I was one of those people who actually read the whole series, but I was 23, 24. It was when they first came out. So I haven't read them since then. I don't remember a lot of details. I don't even remember Eclipse or Breaking Dawn at all. But based on, I watched Twilight and then I watched New Moon, and I went into New Moon going, oh, fuck. I told Scott I liked this movie and I don't think I'm going to like it. And I actually did like it. So I am with you, Scott. Yeah. I think the music did not slap as much as the first one, but that soundtrack is pretty damn good. I really liked all of the shots, the movie shots, the color. It's all very blue and dramatic. It fits the whole narrative. Bella, I don't like Kristen Stewart. I think she's
no.
Don't be ashamed by that. Don't be ashamed by that, Mary. Nobody does.
Yeah. If it was someone else, I don't even know who I would choose to play her role. But I mean, in the book, she is very dramatic and whiny and very awkward. So I guess she did play that part. But a lot of the shit in New Moon was because Bella put all the drama there. Like she put everybody at fucking risk. She had this whole like dynamic with Edward and then with Jake. She was playing them both, but then I'm like, was she playing him? Was it just a rebound relationship? Can't fault her for that. So I found myself like getting into the story more than I wanted to. And I messaged Heather. I was like, I said that I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I actually did like it. But yeah, overall, I would probably give it. So just as a backtrack, my son and I have been watching movies and he's been rating them. And I said on a scale of 1 to 10, and he says, no, I want to do it on a scale of 60. I was like, what the fuck is 60?
Girl, okay.
I like being outside the norm. Yeah, I'm down for this.
I made him go to a 1 to 10, but I'm going to go with you guys on the 1 to 5. And I'm just going to say it's a 3.5 for me.
3.5.
Cool.
Okay.
Heather, I'm saving you till last, Mark.
Why? Why are you making me wait?
Because if you go next, I'll literally be fucking dead before it's my turn. I'll be like, Walt will come in here and be like, Heather, get your baby. This baby getting on my nerves. And I'll be like, well,
I'm going to keep it tight tonight. I promise I'm going to keep it tight.
You didn't keep it tight before. I've been listening to y'all shit every week. And I'm like, Mark said he's going to keep it tight. It'd be like 1-2 minutes. He's going to get in and out like that. He goes on a fucking rampage. And then sometimes I zone out when I'm listening. I'm like, wait, is he
that engaging?
I'm engaged, but I disassociate because I'm like, is he still going? Okay,
I do. I have a problem. I'm sorry. I have a problem.
No, I like to talk a lot, and I love people that talk a lot. I think we're the best. I'm sorry, but I think like if you like to fucking talk a lot, that's a great quality. I like it. I find it endearing. But this movie, I do not find endearing. I can't agree with Mary, even though I love Mary and Scott, because I literally had to pay $3.99 to rent this fucking shit yesterday, and I'm trying to see if I can get my money back. I don't think I can.
Yeah, send the bill to Scott.
You can. You just say your kid accidentally clicked it.
Right? I'm about to say something. $3.99 plus tax. But my whole takeaway with this one is that it's boring. I don't have a lot of sophisticated things to say. It's fucking boring. It's a snooze fest. Charlie can get it. Daddy can get it. And I understand. I would have left her. She's old enough. I would have been like, Bella, your time is up. I'm fucking moving out because I can't get any sleep. You won't shut the fuck up. You're screaming every night. And then the only part that's like semi-interesting is the end where you get the Volturi and you're like, it's exciting. But then it ends abruptly. And you're like, well, I could have seen a little bit more of that, right? Because the other ones have more action. So with that being said, I'm going to rate it like we're doing out of 5. I'm just going to literally give it a 1 out of 5 and maybe a half out of 5. Like, seriously, like I do not
No, don't give it the half. It doesn't deserve it.
And
don't
it was a slog to get through. No, a 1. I'm going to do a 1 out of 5.
Yeah. Stay true.
Because there are some parts that were a little bit entertaining, right? You have enough parts that kind of equaled up to 1 for me out of 5. But anyway, that's my takeaway. Don't make me. I ain't watching this shit again.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, over to you, Mark.
Here we go. Hold on. Let me stretch.
Oh, I can't hear you.
I can't hear
you saying something.
I can't hear you.
I can't hear him. Can anyone hear Mark?
I can't
Don't
hear
do
Quick
that
to
to my
say.
friend.
Do not do that to me right now.
We got you. We got you. Unmute.
Go on. I'm
Right,
ready. I'm
okay.
close. You're going to keep it
That's
brief.
correct. Right. Here we go. So listen, this movie is fucking terrible. From start to finish, there is nothing worth justifying the 2 hour and 9 minute runtime that this movie has. The cinematography, the direction, it is all garbage. The fucking acting is some of the most subpar shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Mary, you mentioned earlier that you didn't necessarily like the score, the soundtrack as much in this one as you did in the first one. I kind of like the Carry On. I felt like they were both very similar. The first one is definitely more superior to the second one, but it has that sort of depressive emo kind of score soundtrack in this one that I actually liked. There was a lot of songs in here that came up throughout that I was like, oh, that's a cool jam. I like that song. I would regularly listen to stuff like that on my normal day-to-day playlist. So I do really, really like the soundtrack to this movie just as much as I did like the soundtrack to the first movie. However, as for the plot of the story itself, we spent 2 hours and 9 minutes exactly on a movie that gets us nowhere, and that is the biggest fault with Twilight New Moon. We don't get anywhere. We don't get any progression from the end of the first movie to the end of the second movie. This doesn't expand on anything. We get a slight bit of knowledge regarding elder gods and elder vampires, which is cool. We get the introduction of the werewolves, which again is also very cool. But this whole Romeo and Juliet rip-off section that we get, which is just a parody of this movie, that is what they're playing on. It's just this is a Romeo and Juliet story. It's Edward, Bella, he's going to die to save himself, to be blah, blah, blah. It's bullshit. And it gets us nowhere. And we spend so much time dealing with this whole convoluted mess regarding him disappearing from the end of the first movie, which, by the way, could have quite easily been rounded up with the aftermath of the first movie. We get this whole drama and this whole aftermath where he killed, I can't even remember the name of the vampire with the cool blonde hair. Yeah, cool as shit. I like James. You should have killed him. He would have been valued in this movie. That would have been a perfect pickup point to explain why they left Forks in the first place. Not this whole, oh, somebody thinks we're aging, so we better just depart for a little bit until nobody realizes when we come back. Bullshit. They should have gone on the aftermath of James's death. It's like, we've caused all this destruction. People are asking questions. We've got to go. You can't come with us, Bella. They could have saved half an hour in building up to some bullshit that they did and explaining why they had to leave. They should have just gone off the back of the first movie. They all had to leave. Bella had to stay behind. Then we get the trauma side of things. Then we get the introduction of Jacob. Then we get the introduction of the Volturis. 30 minutes done. Right, Twilight 3, let's go. And that's my problem with this movie. It is filler fucking bullshit. There is no need for it to be as long as it is and get us to where it does by the end of the movie. We get to the end of the movie and there is nothing. Nothing has changed. Nothing has grown. We have just got substantial amounts of filler segments of Bella being depressed and wanting to end her life to tie it into this whole Shakespearean Romeo and Juliet bullshit at the end, which is a story that's been played over and over so many numerous times throughout books and movies and all the rest of it. We didn't need it. It was bullshit. I wasn't on board for it. There was cool elements to this movie with the werewolves and the vampire lore, but it's just so shrouded in dog shit that I spent 2.5 hours getting me nowhere. I hate this movie. I fucking begrudge spending my time with this movie. Fuck Twilight. Fuck this episode. Boom. 0.5 out of 5. No, this episode's been fun. I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys, but still, I have to go on like a sort of. I'm on a roll now. I'm like represented.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, Heather. Yeah, I'm Fug Life. Bang bang. Fuck this episode.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay, that was something. Thanks, Mark.
Was I muted for the entirety of that? Can I just check you didn't mute me halfway through?
No, you weren't muted. No, you weren't muted.
When I release it, I might mute it just because I think it'd be funny, or turn you right down.
Don't be mean.
Have everyone turn it up really loud, and you're just going.
They were like, "I can't hear Mark. Where's he at?" It was like, he's fucking muted. Ask Scott. He's sadistic. I don't know.
A huge thank you to Mary and to Heather for joining us. Thank you, both of you. Mary, tell everyone where to go find you on TikTok, because everyone needs to go and do that.
Same as Instagram, Lady Crisis 7. I haven't been posting on Instagram as much, but I have been doing more on TikTok. So yeah, please follow me. And I do have a merch shop, which, as you know, Scott, it's really hard to promote your merch. Like, I don't have the fucking time to promote that, but hello.
Show us a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I have one.
You do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could pull it off. I think it might look weird.
Can.
I should do a horror daddy, but that sounds
Yeah,
weird.
you should. But then again,
No,
horror daddy,
yes,
that sounds a bit
you
weird.
do. And put a picture of Patrick Wilson in the corner because I'm gonna slide out my chair. No, I cannot.
Mary, if you do a horror daddy t-shirt, 100% I would buy one.
Okay.
Mark would buy one. Everyone would buy a horror daddy t-shirt.
100%. Yeah.
Like, how cool would that be? Just going out for a night out with a t-shirt as his horror daddy, like, yeah. Heather, where can everyone find you?
Y'all know where to find me. I co-host with Scott on the You Run podcast, True Crime. Wednesday Wine and Horror is where you find me on Instagram mainly. I don't do the TikToks because I'm too old. I have a TikTok, but God damn it, don't find me because I just don't even know what to do. I'm thinking about deleting it. Also, don't find me on X or Twitter because I don't know how to use that shit. I just have the account. I don't even like it. And then, but mainly Instagram because that's like the only platform that I like. I hate everything.
You're like me. I do the same thing. I had TikTok, I had X, I had all that shit. And then he just got an epiphany one day. I was like,
it's too much for my. I can't handle it. It's too much to keep up with. It's too much. I just have, of course, Facebook is whatever. And then I have Instagram. I do have those other platforms, but please, if you find me on Instagram, just don't send me a message telling me that I'm ugly because that hurts my feelings a little bit. And also don't comment on my photos. If you think I'm ugly, like that's fine. Dan,
people actually do that.
You know who this is? Yeah. He sent me a message the other day.
I will fight them right now.
He sent me a message the other day and he's like, "Oh, you cut your hair, slay." I'm like, "Bitch, slay your fucking dick off." This dude that follows me on Instagram, his name is I think it's Dan the Movie Buff 89 or something. Scott knows what I'm talking about.
That dude from a while ago.
Yeah. He's still sending me messages. Like I don't like.
Do we know where he lives? What state is he in? I'll find him.
I don't know. Like I think he's in the States. I don't think he lives out of the States. But I'm just like, what are you talking about, slay, bitch?
I will fuck that dude up.
Yeah, don't do that, people. Be nice.
I just don't promote bullying anyways. Like I know we joke around with each other. That's one thing. But like just to be blatantly fucking a dick to someone. It's like, please don't do that. I do PSAs on True Crime, Scott knows. And I'm always like, don't be fucking mean to people like that for any reason because it's wrong.
Fuck that shit. I'll find him. I'll kill him. I'll rip his throat. I'll Twilight that bitch.
We are back next week and you will be relieved to hear, if you're not a fan of the Twilight Saga, that we are going back to R-rated horror. We are going back to a zombie movie that is arguably the best zombie movie ever made.
And about fucking time for this show. It's been in the polls for God, since we started 2 years ago?
Yeah, arguably a movie that redefined the genre and changed it for an entire new generation. And until we do that episode, I'm going to leave you with this quote. Hello? Hello? Is there anyone there? Hello.
Hey, everyone.
The You Run podcast.
The You Run podcast.
You want to die tonight?
Scott, I think you know who the fuck this is that's talking.
Cancel Mark. I was terribly offended.
Because after all, this is not our show. This is your show.